Okay, I have no idea how I'm going to get through all of this, but here's my best shot. This is part 2 of Genesis. So basically, we start off with Isaac giving a blessing. He's on his deathbed and he wants to give a blessing to 2 of his sons. And they kind of play some games about it. And Jacob, skins an animal and wears his fur because his brother's super hairy to, trick his dad into thinking it's him. But then he has to run away because his brother's going to be so mad at him for stealing the one blessing, I guess, that his father has to give out. So then Jacob finds Rachel, and he's like, Rachel is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I will do everything that I need to do to have her as my wife. He finds Rachel's dad, who he knows is his mom's brother. So Rachel is his cousin. And he's like, what do I have to do to make her mine? And the dad is like, you could work for me for 7 years. And he's like, okay, bet, I'll do it. Which, you don't see that kind of commitment today. And so he works for 7 years. And then the dad is like, actually, I'm going to give you Leah, my oldest daughter, because I can't really give away my youngest daughter first. That would be messed up. So Jacob's like, well, I really want Rachel. So what do I need to do? And he's like, just work for another 7 years. Jacob does it. Jacob works for 7 more years to get Rachel. Imagine. It's like that saying, if a man wants to get you a glass of water, he will swim through shark-infested waters or something. If he wants to, he will vibes. And so then Jacob has Leah and Rebecca, but God can tell that Jacob loves Rachel more. So he makes Rachel barren and he gives Leah 4 sons. But then Rachel gets jealous and they basically get into this childbearing off where Rachel's like, okay, you can go handmaiden style on my servant, have 2 kids with her. And then Leah's like, okay, I'll raise you 1. You can go handmaiden style on my servant. And then they have 2 kids. But then then Leah has 2 more sons and a daughter. So by this time, Leah has 6 sons and a daughter. And then there's 4 sons with the servants. And then God is starting to feel bad for Rebecca, so he's like, okay, you can have 1. And then she has Joseph. Okay. So then Jacob's only daughter, Dinah, I guess, gets sexually assaulted, and the guy that sexually assaults her goes to the brothers and and Jacob, and is like, I want to be with her so bad. I'll do anything to be with her. Just tell me what. And they're like, well, you and everybody in your town can get circumcised and then you can have her. So they all go and get circumcised and they come back. And when they come back, they're all like, psych, actually. And they kill everybody. And then Jacob is like, okay, you guys actually made this really bad for me because now everyone's going to be after me. So we have to sort of keep going. Then Rachel gets pregnant again, but she dies in childbirth. And that kid's name is Benjamin, R.I.P. Rachel. And then randomly God changes Jacob's name to Israel, but they use this interchangeably. It keeps going back and forth throughout the whole thing. Okay, so then randomly also Jacob/Israel's firstborn son Reuben hooks up with Rachel's servant, which is his half-sibling's mom. And Jacob finds out and is kind of sussed by it, but doesn't really do anything. So TBD if that leads to drama later on, we don't know. I hate how much they're using the word concubine. They just are using it all the time, and it's gross and weird to me. Israel obviously loves Joseph more than everybody. I think that this is because it's Rebecca's kid and Rebecca was his true love, and he makes Joseph a fancy robe, but all the brothers are super jealous of Joseph. And Joseph just wants to talk about his dreams to his brothers. Every day Joseph is like, please let me tell you about my dreams. And his brothers are like, get lost. We literally don't care about your dreams. And he's begging them. Finally, his brothers are like, okay, you can tell us about your dreams. And he's like, okay, so listen to this. My dream is that you guys all worship me, basically. And they're like, we don't care about you. Get over yourself. So then he comes back again and he's like, I had another dream. Listen to this one. And they're like, fine. And he's like, in this one, the sun, the moon, and all the stars also worshipped me. And they're just sick of his shit. So maybe a day later, they see him coming over the hill and they're like, we should just kill him. But they're hustlers. So they're like, you know what? He's worth more to us alive than he is dead. So actually, we're going to make it look like we killed him, but we're going to sell him. So they sell him to Egypt. Then Joseph goes to Egypt and he basically makes a career as a dream interpreter. There's a lot of hullabaloo, but essentially he becomes like the Pharaoh's dream interpreter. And he tells the Pharaoh, like, okay, your dream means that there's going to be 7 years of really, really good harvest, and then there's going to be 7 years of famine. So Joseph is like, all right, let's backstock a bunch of stuff when the famine comes. So this famine is worldwide, and eventually his brothers come to him, and they're like, we need food. But his brothers don't know that it's him, but he knows that it's his brothers. So he's like, actually, you guys are all my ops. Like, I think you guys are all spies, and I'm going to throw you in jail right now. And they're like, we swear to God, we're not spies. And then Joseph, like, turns away, and he cries a little bit, and then he comes back, and he's like, okay, I'm going to let you go, because I know that you have a younger brother, Benjamin, and he's not here, so you're going to go get him. So they go get Benjamin, and Jacob has a really hard time giving up Benjamin, because he loves Benjamin, like, he loved Joseph, but now he thinks Joseph is dead, so Benjamin is the only one from Rebekah. So Benjamin goes back, and Joseph is like, okay, like, I'm gonna throw you guys a big dinner, and I'm also gonna kind of just, like, go cry a little bit, and then I'll come back and be at dinner. Then he sends them back on their way back to Jacob, Israel, and he realizes that they stole from him, and it was Benjamin that stole that little bit. So they bring him back. All the brothers come back, and they're like, we are so sorry, like, we're so remorseful, like, this should have never happened. And Joseph's like, all right, the jig is up, like, it's me, bitches, it's Joseph, and you thought you saw the last of me, but you didn't, and I would say you're at my mercy, but actually it's all okay, like, I'm gonna let bygones be bygones, and we can just leave it in the past, but I do want you to bring Dad. Okay, wait, where am I? How the hell? So then they go get Jacob/Israel, and they bring him back, but then he dies. But then when Joseph wants his sons blessed, Jacob is like, I'm only going to bless the younger son, kind of like same vibe as him. And then he's talking to all of his sons, and he's like, okay, the first 3 of you, like, you guys suck. You are horrible. The rest of you, you're pretty good, and I hope everything works out. And then he dies, and then that's the end of Genesis. This was a lot. We'll see what Exodus has, but they better bring it.